Okay, now it's a very interesting thing. The Rebbe is saying a person who learns Torah as misfortune is kept from him. Here the previous Rebbe, when is he saying this? He's saying this after he was released from almost certain death and from incarceration, who knows how long, and from getting sent to exile, which is almost the same thing as death. Getting released from this, and it was why? Because he learned the Torah. Because he learned the Torah, he suffered. Okay, Herschel? Because he learned the Torah, that's the reason. And here's the Rebbe is saying that if a person learns the Torah, his suffering is kept away from him. Suffering is kept away from him. How do you explain this? Well, you can explain it maybe in a simple way. In a simple way, a person who is a soldier, right? People who go into the army. It used to be when there was the Vietnam War, they used to induct people. But now I don't think in America there's no more draft. I don't think there's any more draft. That people want to go into the army in order to protect their country. Could be some people go in because they want action, but most of them go in for, they want policemen. Most policemen go in to be policemen because they want to protect the community. Right? They want to collect the community. Of course, once in a while you get a bad apple, but generally speaking, 99% of the policemen that go in, they go into this. Okay, now you can say he's going in as his dangerous situation. He's even trained to be in dangerous situations, right? It's problems. For him, it's not a problem. For him, he's happy that he can help others. He's happy that he can protect others. He feels that if he doesn't do it, no one will do it. So you can say the same thing with the previous Rebbe. He was put into prison, sentenced to death. He realized that he was fighting some sort of a battle against the forces of evil in the world. And the communists were really evil. They were really, really very evil. Right? They had these beautiful slogans, etc., but they killed a lot of people. And they even more, they killed a lot of souls. They had the whole Russian people were totally conquered, right, spiritually. Right? As all the churches came down, all of this came down. Now you see when communism fell, that all of a sudden the people started becoming more religious in Russia, and right, they're turning to God. But when it was there, life was destroyed. Right? People's lives were just, millions and millions of people got killed. Says the Rebbe that therefore a person who learns the Torah is that difficulties are removed from him. What does it mean, difficulties? That even, God forbid, things happen that are difficult. To him, it's not difficulties. To him, he realizes and he feels this has some sort of a big, major, cosmic importance, and also to all mankind. He feels connected to the Creator, and he believes the Creator is good. Hine, Be'ez Matan Torah, at the time of the giving of the Torah, Hine, call Yisrael, all the Jewish people, Hayu Ba'oto Mama, that were there, Melubashim Beguf. Mekol Neshamus Yisrael, Asher Yitlabshu Beguf. Ad Bi'at HaMashiach B'me'er B'yameinu. When God gave the Torah to the Jewish people, 50 days after they left Egypt, every Jewish soul was there. Whether the Jewish souls that were in bodies or the Jewish souls that were not yet in bodies, they were all there. Have you ever heard that before, Yonah? When God gave the Torah, all of the Jewish souls were there. Whether the people that were born, people that had passed away, that weren't there, people that were going to be born, all the souls were there in Matan Torah.
I heard that the souls separated.
That's different. Those people who were alive in bodies, their souls separated from their bodies temporarily, and God re-enlivened them. It says in the Talmud, Shabbos. When the Jews were at Mount Sinai, something else happened. It said that all of the Jews were there, whether the Jews that were physically there or the Jews that were spiritually there, but every single Jewish soul was there at Mount Sinai. You were there, I was there, Mr. Smith was there.
I don't remember.
Maybe you were asleep. It says that the Jewish people tried to go to sleep that night because they wanted it to all be spiritual.
They stayed up for breaking.
Yes. Hine call Yisrael, all the Jewish people that were there, and the call Neshamas Yisrael and all the Jewish people, Asher yitlabshu beguf, that will be put in the body. See the last paragraph down there? Ad biat Mashiach, until biat Mashiach. Harikulam keish echad. All of the Jewish people received like one person. Kabalnu aleinu, we received on ourselves, al benenu, bnei benenu, on our children and our grandchildren. Lekayem, to do the Torah and the commandments. This is without any doubt, the most important historical event in the annals of mankind. Huh? Such a word like that? Yes. Without any doubt, the most important event that ever happened, the most essential event to all mankind, is certainly the most essential event to Judaism. The basis of Judaism was that God took us out of Egypt and He gave us all His Torah. 3 million people, 600,000 males from 20 and up, and gave us all the Torah. Don't squeeze them, Yonah. The most important event in the history of the world, for certain the most witnessed event in the world, was the taking of the Jews out of Egypt and the giving of the Torah. There's no comparison to it. There's no religion that even made up such a story. Even the religions that claimed to replace Judaism, they didn't even make up such a story. Right? There's these professors in Israel and whatever they say, the whole thing is made up. No, ask a question, why didn't anybody else make it up? And not only that, what type of a story is that to make up? We see it didn't even work. If you got professors like this that say it didn't even happen, so we see it wasn't very practical. All the other religions are based on one man. He went into the desert, or 5 people, or 10 people, they saw something, they heard something, and there it is, you got a book fell from the sky, and they have millions and billions of followers. And here are the Jews, right? 3 million people saw God. Panim lapanim, it says.
It said that every
Panim
animal
bapanim.
was quiet throughout the entire world.
What? All it says, the whole entire world came and they asked Bilam, what's going on? And he said, Hashem Ozlam Mu'iteinu Hashem Yivrech. The whole world knew that something was going on. Right? Something was going on. And now you ask people, the giving of the Torah, who knows what it is? In Israel, in general, who cares about the giving of the Torah? The Holocaust. You say a word against the Holocaust, you mumser, anti-Semite, Nazi bastard. Say something against the giving of the Torah, okay, so what? Who knows? Everybody knows that. No Matan Torah. There was no such thing. Torah, coming out of Egypt, it's a bubble mice that never happened. Right? The Holocaust, this really happened. This is the whole essence of Judaism. The Torah, giving of the Torah is such a wonderful, amazing thing that shows how good God is. Right? And the Holocaust exactly the opposite. So it happened. It would happen today. Right? But giving of the Torah is happening right now, every single second. It's happening. So be positive. Says at Matan Torah, every Jewish soul was there, including all these professors and these atheists and these the politicians. Omer Azal, Kaimu Masha Kiblu Kavar. I'm sorry, the beginning of the sentence. Kaimu v'kiblu Yehudim. In the Megillah of Esther, it says that the Jewish people, they really fulfilled the Torah. We get close to Purim, we'll learn those beautiful Maimorim about what exactly transpired in Purim, why Haman wanted to kill all the Jews, and how the Jews transformed the whole thing around, and how we can do that today. Omer Azal, the rabbis say, Kimu Masha Kiblu Kavar. At Mount Sinai, all the Jews accepted on themselves to do the Torah, but they didn't really do it until 1,000 years later with the miracle of Purim. Hainu, the Bizamana Galut, that in the time of exile, Purim, the holiday of Purim occurred between the first temple and the second temple. Did you know that, Yonah? When did Purim occur? Haman wanted to kill all the Jews. When was that? Right before the second temple was built. It was in the time of exile. Deep exile. The first temple was destroyed. The Jews had been scattered all over. They were taken to Babylon. It was terrible. There was infighting and outfighting. And then all of a sudden comes along Haman and he says, I'm going to kill all the Jews. that suddenly all the Jews woke up. All the Jews woke up, and they said, "Oh, we're going to fulfill what we accepted back then in the time of the giving of the Torah, 1,000 years before." Asher az hinei haminios ve'ikuvim. Then, in the time of exile, those preventions for learning the Torah, the kiyum mitzvahs, and doing the commandments, hemo chas v'shalom b'yoter, they were very great. Nowadays, you want to put on tefillin, you can put on tefillin in the middle of the street. You can go into any city in America, and you can put on tefillin. You can stand in the middle of the street and put on tefillin. You want to, no problem. Right? I've traveled around in the airports all over the place. You put on tefillin. You should maybe go up to one of the policemen and say, "I'm a religious Jew. I'm putting on." Nowhere. Put tefillin. No problem. Right? In the time of Purim, in those days, in the time of exile, you put on tefillin to kill you. Right? There was a decree to destroy all the Jews. Lashmid, la'arog, la'beid, kol Yehudim. Hine az davka, hu zaman hitgabrut ha'avodah b'kiyum Torah v'mitzvahs. Specifically, when the Jews are under pressure, and they're under pressure from the non-Jews, and they're under pressure from other Jews. It says everyone ate at the meal of Achashverosh. Ukomo b'zaman Mordechai and Esther, like in the time of Mordechai and Esther. Please be with us. Asher Haman bikesh, that Haman wanted lishloach yad b'Yehudim, to put his hand out against the Jews. Der ganze Willen seinen, his whole entire desire of Haman, and Haman ruled over the whole world. He became the chief advisor to Achashverosh, who ruled the whole world. His whole desire is given la'abed chas v'shalom et Yehudim. All he wanted to do was destroy all the Jews. Does that make any sense? I mean, he had the whole entire world. What's he going to destroy the Jews for? What difference does it make? I mean, they weren't making any trouble for him. It says that they were all bowed down to him. It says, Kol Yehudim yishtachavu l'Haman. Everybody bowed down to Haman. But they weren't making him any trouble. Why did he want to destroy them? And for what? What did they do to him? Right? They had an opposite political party or something with it. Haman knew that the Jews were God's people. Haman knew that the Jews are the conscience of the world. If there's one Jew in the world, you can't do what you want. There's one Jew to remind you that there's a creator of the world that creates everybody. Therefore, he wanted to destroy, he would like to have destroyed God, but he couldn't. The closest he could get was to destroy God's representative. Hainu la'akor chas v'sholem et yadut, to uproot all Judaism. That's what he wanted to do. And that's what Stalin wanted to do. Here we're talking about the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. In Stalin's Russia, 1927, Stalin was just in the fresh power. But I don't remember, but there was a time when there were the purges. I don't remember, it was the 20s, it could be. Killed people. Everybody loved him. The Cain b'milchamas Yavanim, and so it was also later on in the middle of the Second Temple. The war against the Greeks, Chanukah. She'omru kasvu lechem al keren ashor she'en lechem chelik be'elokei Yisrael. That the Greeks weren't so savage as the Haman and his men. Haman, they wanted to, I guess it was the Persians. Haman wanted to destroy all the Jews physically. The Greeks, they wanted to destroy all the Jews spiritually. Something like today, the Muslims and the Christians. The Muslims, they want to destroy all the Jews physically. They would love it. Oh, nothing would make them more happy. They got bombs with atom bombs and nuclear bombs and physical, this type of bombs, uranium bombs, this type of missile and that type of missile, and they're yelling, we're going to destroy all the Jews, we're going to destroy all the Jews. The United Nations agrees with them. And then we have the Christians that come and say, oh, we love you, you're our best friends, we want to eat you alive, we do anything you want, we'll give you money and everything. Let's get on our knees and pray. Hine az davka hidgabru b'nei Israel. Then the Jewish people strengthen themselves. Beyoter seis to beyoter oz, with more power. When they have a challenge, the Jewish people, some Jewish people, they fall by the side, but some Jewish people meet the challenge, doing Torah and mitzvahs b'mesirut nefesh, with self-sacrifice. Like it says in another place, Jews only really function best when they're under pressure. Jews only function best when they're under pressure. No pressure, no function. Then suddenly they're not Jews. All of a sudden a challenge comes. Jews all of a sudden wake up. Some of them, not all of them. In the time of Purim, all of them woke up. Everybody woke up. All the Jews had as close to assimilated as you could get. And as soon as Haman made the decree, I'm going to kill all the Jews, suddenly Mordechai woke everybody up and they all stood up again. The same thing was in Chanukah. All the Jews had Hellenized, whatever they were. The Greeks were nice guys. They became part of them, right? They wanted to be part of Greek culture. They had culture. All the Jews. All of a sudden came the whole miracle of Chanukah. Little by little, the Jews, right? The Jews started to wake up. Even though it says in there that most of the Jews, 9/10, who knows how many, 19/20 of the Jews, they fought against they fought against the Maccabees. They fought against. They were Hellenized. They loved it. Hine kasiv ani Hashem no shenisi. I am God. I will never change. Atem bnei Israel lo chalisem. And you, the children of Jacob, you will never be destroyed. But the Baal Shem Tov had a little bit different explanation. The Navi is amazed and he says, Halo atem roim, don't you see ki hu yisprech einu mishtaneh, that God never changes? God's love for you is eternal. Haftachatov shivtiach, that God promised you, ki lo yitosh Hashem amo, God will never leave His people. God will never abandon you. Right after the Holocaust, okay, Herschel. In the Holocaust, there was this. I said this before. Professor Viktor Frankl. He went through the Holocaust. I read a lot of his books, and he said, if you ask me, that more Jews became strengthened in Judaism by the Holocaust than left Judaism. He said, what is it like? It's like a fire. If there's a small fire and the wind blows, it goes out. But if there's a little bit of a strong fire, a wind comes, it just makes it bigger. Right? The wind that's trying to blow out the fire, it can actually fan the fire. It's the same thing. A Jew that's very weak in his Judaism, he's very weak, looking for a way out. So there blows a wind, blows him out, that's it. Finishes, he'll intermarry. But a Jew that has a strong feeling of godliness, comes all of a sudden opposition and it fires it up. Now I'm going to put on tefillin. Now I'm going to keep Shabbos. Now I'm going to learn Torah. Kol echad ve'echad, each and every person sees hashgacha pratis mamuchash. Every single person can see the hand of God in every detail, clearly. Kamaimer, like it says, kiv sa'achat bein ayin ze'evim v'hi mishtamiret. One sheep among 70 wolves for 2,000 years, and the sheep still exists. How can it be? I was once where I put tefillin on people, and a bunch of missionaries were there, and they said, "Can you prove the Jewish people are the chosen people?" I said, "Of course. The fact that there exists a Jewish people." I said, "For 2,000 years, there's been people like you that have been trying to destroy us, and we've been outnumbered 1,000 to 1, and here we are. I'm standing here, right? And I'm telling you that you people are all liars. That you're messed up." And they left. If so, Lama atem b'nei Yaakov lo chalisem. If so, you, the Jewish people, why aren't you expiring? Why aren't you excited? Perish madua ein atem nimshechim achrei Torah b'kalod nefesh. Why aren't you drawn after the Torah and mitzvahs with a, with a tremendous going crazy? Like you go crazy for money, you go crazy for popularity, you go crazy. You should be going crazy for Torah. The Torah is God. It's godliness. It's God. Because the truth is, you can see God's direction in every single detail in the most revealed ways. Therefore, Jewish people should realize that the Torah and the commandments are the only real, constant, stable thing that there is in this world, the only meaningful thing. And if there's different reasons, it's not the way it should be. Therefore, God arouses the Jews. Suddenly, all of a sudden, something happens, and every Jew suddenly returns back to his senses. That's what it means in this blessing that we had before, that you did me good. That God, you, even though that the Jewish people are undeserving, we're not acting properly, we're not thinking properly, we're not speaking properly, but you have given us the Torah, and you keep giving us the Torah. And that's the blessing that we said, Baruch HaGomel, Hainu, She'echzik ba'avodato b'Torah v'tefillah, b'yoter seit b'otara, that Hashem gives us an inspiration to learn the Torah, do the commandments, strengthen ourselves in loving God, that's prayer, more and more, specifically in the time of exile when it seems that we don't deserve it.